Hey everyone, the title of the video is self-explanatory. I've been asking myself, can I build muscle while completing this marathon training that I'm on? The reason I thought about this, the reason I came up with this question was at this time of the year, people trying out lots of stuff. There's New Year, New You, and there's people practicing for races, and those are their primary aims. But I want to stay in a certain level of physical shape from a muscle perspective, strength perspective, body composition, but I definitely want to complete the marathon in April in London. The more I thought about it, the more I kind of felt it is hard to combine these two things and one would have to give. And then there was a part of me that said, no, actually, it should be possible. I'm sure people have done this. And so I set myself the challenge of doing so. A key fact to remember is when I did my DEXA scan back in December, I was 90 kg at about 18% body fat. I've used some of those biometric impedance scales to check it since then, and it's roughly around the same area. I want to move to 85 kg, 12% body fat. Now, the mathematically inclined of you are going to see that I'm planning to gain about 1 kilogram of fat-free mass, which is technically muscle because my bones aren't going to grow or my organs. Is it possible? I don't know, but we'll find out. So I tell a lie, we're not gonna find out. We're gonna see my plan and my execution. The answer to the question will come on race day in April at the London Marathon. I plan to do a DEXA scan either the day before or the day after to see if I achieve this goal. So this is more about, is it possible, how I intend to go about it, and what my plan looks like. I'm gonna go into a disclaimer. Over this video series, you're not gonna see too much about what I'm eating in terms of advice. I'll update you on deficits and surpluses. Remember, I follow a plant-based diet, which doesn't apply to 99% of people out there. It's what works for me for health reasons. I would advocate most people to have a diet high in protein, which is pretty much animal proteins and dairy, etc. But again, you make decisions from your own personal perspective. I'm not really advocating one lifestyle over another. The same thing as you all know, I'm natural. I have been my entire life. I take things like BCAAs and omega-3. I just wanted to cover that nutrition side because a lot of my focus, I'd say 95%, is going to be on the strength training and my running workout program, nothing more. Let's get to step one. I'm going to be doing about 500 kilometers of running in the build up to the marathon. That is a lot of cardio, and I've got to decide what is my primary objective and my secondary objective. The marathon is the primary objective. That's as clear as day. The strength training and building muscle is my secondary objective. Why it's important to make this clear is because I don't want to mix my priorities because I'm going to be neither here nor there. I must finish the marathon in April. And if that means I fail the muscle building strength training goal, then so be it. Now we've got that settled, we go to the running plan that I built in Runner. I think I showed you that in the previous video. It's a 4-day plan with 3 rest days and the long run day being on Saturday. So immediately I'm kind of thinking I can do 3 strength training sessions in the rest days, but that means I have no rest day whatsoever. I'm training 7 days a week. I do want to have Sunday as a rest day, so I'm already struggling. The other problem I have is that when I strength train, I do push, pull, legs, upper, lower, which requires 5 days a week. So now you can see the clash. Running needs 4 days, strength training needs 5 days. There's only 7 days in the week, and I want to have a rest day. So I've got a bit of a problem. So I did come up with a bit of a solution. I worked out that my running days have a bit of a pattern, and that is important to remember because if I can utilize that pattern to fit in my strength training, then actually maybe it won't be so bad and I'll be able to get myself the right mix of workouts for the running and workouts to build muscle. I had to sit down for this one because I've written it down. What I worked out, and please don't mind if I keep on looking at the paper, is that each week has a long run and an easy run with 2 demanding sessions somewhere else. So that's your tempos, intervals, repeats, that kind of stuff. The easy runs never exceed 7.5K, and that means I can go to the gym straight after I complete them. This gives me 4 days because I've got 2 running days that I can't do anything else, 5 days left in the week. You take away the rest day on Sunday, I've still got 2 rest days for my running program and 2 running days where they're not that intense or take so much much time that I can't do something afterwards. So I think I have a plan, but not quite yet. Those 2 days I intend to use, one of them will be a tempo or interval day. So it's time low, which means I'm done in 25-30 minutes, but it's intensity high. So I've got the time to go to the gym. The question is, will I be in any condition to go there and have a serious workout? So that's one challenge that I've got to deal with. The second problem is push, pull legs, upper, lower. If you're doing 4 sessions a week around running, something is gonna have to give in the quality of the sessions. And sod's law, you know what's gonna happen. It's gonna be a particular day that tends to fall in the wrong place. My solution to this is that for the 15 weeks, I'm just gonna move to an upper-lower split. But that brings its own problems. An upper-lower split means I'm 50% strength training on my lower body, 50% strength training on my upper body, but then I'm also spending 4 sessions a week running, which has the most impact on my lower body. So that is a lot of impact, and I am a bit concerned about whether this is going to work or not. That's something I've got to think about, but that allows me to have a proper Sunday rest day, and I'll explain why that's important later in the video. A lot of you watching this might recommend that's the way to go about it. Now, if you think, nope, you're going about it all wrong, put it in the comments, stop me before I go too far. So week 1 was already gone. This video is about week 2. How did this all play out? Again, I've got my sheet of paper. On Monday, I had an 8K easy run, which is meant to be conversational pace, chit chat pace. It's sort of like 6:15, 6:25, 6:30 per K. That was great. The issue with those easy runs, which kind of go up to 8K, is they're very time consuming. So by the time you stretch, do 8K at that pace, which takes almost an hour, and then you have your sort of warm down, cool down. There's no time. I've spent an hour 10 out there. I can't then go to the gym and have a decent session. So that was done. You know, it was pretty good. Runner or Garmin said I had a fantastic execution. I'm going to be doing most of my runs around the marina for consistency, but the more important reason is that on the days I'm going to the gym, running around the marina means I can end my session, the door of the gym or close by. So we get to Tuesday. This is important. This is a rest day, and I headed to the gym to do a lower session because I have a full day. I can go high intensity. Now, because I had a lot of running coming up later in the week, I made this quad dominant. I didn't want to overwork my calves because I knew I still had 3 running sessions and another lower session still to come during the week. I didn't want to sort of overwork my calves because that's where I have my injury in my ankles, and on my left side the calves are a bit tight. So quad dominant, and it kind of worked out pretty well. It was a fantastic session, and so far so good. I think this is going to work. We then moved to Wednesday. This was a tempo run. This was the first time I thought, this might not be a great idea, but we did it anyway. A tempo run is 2K at chit chat pace, which is my name for it, 2K at 4:30 per kilometer pace, and 1.5K back at chit chat pace. So not too bad. And I kind of did it. My execution score wasn't great. I kind of missed the time at the 4:30, but you know, I kind of gave it a shot, and then I headed into the gym. Now, the tempo run and the fact that I did a lower session the day before had fatigued my legs. So I did an upper session and I focused more on back than the arms, because when you're tired, your arms just feel heavy. So it was a back dominant session. And since I'm not doing push-pull legs and I'm just focusing upper lower, I do have to make the sessions a bit dominant on one core group to at least give me the variety and make sure that nothing is getting left out. So far so good. Thursday, this was a 4K easy run. These are the days that this plan was designed for. It was an easy run, chit chat pace, and then I headed to the gym for another lower session. As you can see, my lower sessions are falling on the days where the demands are not so high. The first one was an rest day. This one is straight after a 4K easy run. This time around, the focus was more on my calves because I'd done the quad dominant day 2 days earlier. Now I could focus on my calves, knowing that Friday would be a day where I get some rest from running, and then I've got my long run on Saturday. There'd be enough time for recovery. This was perfect. Focused on my calves, focused on strengthening them, stretching them out. Great session. I'm getting confident that this will work. Oh, one more thing. I did core work on both leg days. So I do stuff like hanging leg raises, knee to elbow, that kind of stuff. And that's what I focused on. Let's go to Friday. So this was a running rest day, as I said earlier. And I went to the gym and my focus was the arms, because my previous upper day was kind of back and shoulder focus. This was arms, tris and biceps were the main focus. I'm going to take a pause here and tell you, it was at this point I decided I didn't need push-pull legs. Upper lower works if you get the splits within each upper session and each lower session just just right. Training 4 times a week, strength training 4 times a week to be precise, is a good amount of volume. It's not fantastic, but it's good for my goals. You know, I'm over 40 years old. I'm not gonna train like a teenager or a 20-something year old. So just as a disclaimer, push-pull legs was out, upper lower was the way. And then we get to Saturday, the long run, and it's something called a progressive long run. And what that is, and I explain. So I start with 3.5 kilometers at 5:25, then 2 kilometers at 5:15, 2 kilometers at 5, and then 1.5 at sort of chit-chat pace, chatterbox pace. I basically didn't really do any of that. I struggled to keep with it. I was in and out. Sometimes I was too fast, sometimes I was too slow. I didn't get the greatest execution score, but it was good. I got 9.5K under my belt. I bumped into some friends as I was running along the marina, and it felt easy. That was the most important thing. Yes, don't get me wrong, I'm gonna run a marathon. 9.5K is nothing compared to that. But after a whole week of training, I've had 5 full days where I'm doing some sort of training, to then get to my long run on a Saturday and not feel fatigued, not feel like I've overexerted myself, was good. It told me this plan was working. Now remember earlier in the video I said to you, it's very important that I get a rest day on a Sunday. This is to allow me to do other things, you know, to play sports, to go for a hike, go for a walk, get the bikes out and go for a ride. This is important for me. So in this week we did just that. We went with a couple of friends to Hatta to do a hike. That's one of the beauties of living in certain countries. You can do stuff like this. It was a 90-minute drive and we managed to go out and get some really good hiking, you know, under our belts. It was only 7.5K, but it was quite a lot of climbs. Now remember, I've trained 6 days this week, more than 6 sessions, and the hike felt good. My legs felt fresh, I felt energized. And at my age, that's important because I've got to stay active. I've got to keep moving. It was a fantastic hike. I'd recommend it to people. Look, I'm not the tourism board, so I can't give you intricate details, but you can ask me questions in the comments and I'll tell you all about it. And this is the one I definitely want some opinions in the comments. I'm gonna run a bit of a surplus, protein-driven surplus, with the aim of putting on about 3 to 3.5 kg over 10 to 12 weeks, which is a lot, but I think it's doable. Then in the last few weeks when I'm doing insane distances as part of the taper towards the marathon, I'll be in a massive deficit and I expect to lose 60 to 65% of that muscle that I gained. If I can hold on to just about a kg of it, I will get to the right body composition. Goes against conventional wisdom. So it'll be good to know your thoughts on that. Am I taking the right approach? Is it even doable? Or am I just gonna end up a skinny mess or an oversized mess by marathon day? So please like, subscribe, leave some comments, click the bell icon, look out for the next video. We'll see how we get on. And thank you so much for watching. Take care.